The Lakers and Clippers position themselves for today's opening of NBA free agency. The Kings leave the NHL draft without an immediate solution in net, and Clayton Kershaw gets an MRI. Surprise! Good morning, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city of the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. So it is June 30th, 2023, still trapped in the manure pit known as Tulsa, Oklahoma to work. But again, it always puts me in a better mood when I'm talking LA sports. We still have an El Trafico giveaway for next week's game. I have an LAFC kit and an LA Galaxy LA kit, both in men's extra large. Subscribe to the channel. Tell me which team you like. You could win one of those kits, but you got to subscribe and you got to let me know what's going on. So if you like being in the know about LA sports, clickety-clack the like button, clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yeah, comment. I like hearing from you guys. Before we go through the news and the notes, a look at the scoreboard. The Dodgers are now starting to wake up. And boy, they woke up and rolled all over Colorado 14-3. There was a 6-run fourth inning. It was capped by J.D. Martinez's 3-home run. The Dodgers are back in second place. They are 2 games behind Arizona and climbing. We say that with certainty because the Dodgers are in Kansas City now at 5 p.m. Bobby Miller is 3-1 with a 4.13 ERA. Alec Marsh, no record, no ERA for the Royals. And the Sparks are in Chicago. That game takes place at 5. Now, NBA free agency begins this afternoon at 3 p.m. out west. Okay? Teams are obviously jockeying. This is probably not going to be one of those earth-shattering free agency things where it's just like one big name, like an explosion, one after another. This guy goes here. Oh my God, they're title. Whoa, they're not title contenders because so-and-so went. That's not going to happen. But both the Lakers and Clippers have had to make moves to try to improve their teams. For example, ESPN reported yesterday that LA waived both center Mo Bamba and guard Malik Beasley. Now, this was expected, and the reason it was expected, aside from the fact that neither one of them really provided a lot to the Lakers, is that the moves open up $12.5 million under the salary cap, which could be used today in free agency. The Lakers, again, even if they use the money, they are below the luxury tax cap. Now, I don't want to go too crazy with rumors. What I will say, though, is that ESPN is reporting that the Lakers have allegedly targeted forward Bruce Brown, a 26-year-old forward out of Denver, and an old friend, Milwaukee center Brook Lopez. Now, the Nuggets might be the team that the Lakers are looking at more for 2 reasons. One, obviously a little screw you. Denver knocked the Lakers out of the playoffs last year, and Brown did play a pivotal role. The Nuggets can only offer Brown less than $8 million. So if he wants a raise, and if he wants a shot at another title along with getting that raise, come to LA, you would imagine. Or if they don't go after Brown, or if they don't go after Brook Lopez, they could theoretically split the $12 million. That would probably be enough not only to keep Dennis Schroeder, but maybe going after, I don't know, say a former Clipper guard, like Eric Gordon. Thoughts, just random thoughts. I wouldn't wager money on anything right now. We mentioned earlier, again, about how NBA free agency is not that big of a deal anymore. There was a GM from Toronto who was like, yeah, players now, they prefer to try to seek sign and trades so they can land with a team that they actually want to play for or a city that they want to live in. Get that and the money at the same time. So when James Harden yesterday opted into his $35.6 million contract option with the Philadelphia 76ers, the rumor mill spun so fast, it was like they were trying to churn butter. It was crazy fast. And yes, there are reports claiming that the Clippers are interested in trading for James Harden. Could happen, but here's why I'm skeptical. The story's coming from the New York press. The New York sports press, really. I mean, look, New York is not the mecca of basketball as much as New York is the mecca of basketball rumors. There's a million stories about, oh, the Knicks or the Nets are going after this guy, the Yankees are going after this guy. Never, ever happens. There are very few cities that have multiple newspapers in the town. New York is one of them, and they're all competing. It's just like how you have all these random blogs out there going for clickbait, and they come up with one wild rumor after another. So, is it possible? I suppose. But I would say this, one of the reasons I'm not too optimistic on it is because if you look back, it makes the Paul George rumors sound a little bit more sensible. The ones, oh, we're going to trade Paul George, which of course didn't happen. If you say trade Paul George, then all of a sudden you might have the salary cap room to acquire James Harden. You might. But again, you're asking me to trust the New York sports press corps. And I don't. So the Kings got to take part in the draft yesterday. They didn't take part in the first round. They didn't have a first round pick. That was on Wednesday. So they had one pick for each of rounds 2 through 6. And the reviews for the draft are mixed. Got to be straight. They didn't get a pick until 54. And the guy that they selected was Jakub Dvorak, who one reviewer said the guy can't skate. That's a problem. Another called him injury prone. And then a third scribe said Dvorak was the only selection that the Kings made who has a legit shot at becoming an NHL player. So I'd be lying to you if I said I'm an expert on the NHL draft. Those are all prospects, much like in Major League Baseball. Maybe they turn into something, maybe they don't. But who am I to tell you that the Kings crushed the draft when I have nothing to go on that says that they did? They did draft a goalie, by the way, but that pick was in the 120s. So that's a long shot as well. So what about goalie? We've been talking about all these other moves that the Kings made for forwards to retain a defenseman. The Athletic agrees with Cap Friendly that LA has about $4.5 million in cap space. Now from that, because during the course of the season, the team's going to have injuries, they got to call up players from the minors. You can't just take that $4.5 million and throw it on one guy. You just can't. The sensible thing would be to basically take about half of it, $2 million, to go acquire a goalie. You're not going to have a lot of luck acquiring somebody for $2 million. Not somebody who all of a sudden is going to turn into the second coming of Jonathan Quick or Patrick Waugh. So even Rob Blake recognizes that he's got work to do to try to solve that problem. Clayton Kershaw said he felt fatigued earlier this week while he was pitching in Colorado. And if you've ever been to the so-called Mile High City, you can understand you're gasping for air pretty quick up there, right? And then the truth came out, his shoulder hurts. Fatigue, hurt shoulder. Dude, come on now. Little truthfulness here. I mean, that's a little bit different than just having a case of the blahs, wouldn't you say? So they gave Kershaw an MRI that showed that there was inflammation in the shoulder. Inflammation. He's not going to throw for a couple of days. He is the only Dodger starter not to miss a start this year. I would say that's probably in jeopardy right now. I'm not saying injured list. I'm not saying out for months. But I'm not imagining him making his next start. Michael Grove was sent back to AAA Oklahoma City. His ERA was 7.54. Now, that also included the 4 runs he allowed in 5 innings over in Colorado on Wednesday. Look, it's his first shot in the majors, right? He's a highly regarded prospect. You can't expect the guy to come up and just light everybody on fire when he immediately debuts. As a result, the Dodgers called up reliever Justin Brule to fill the void. And they're going to have 9 relievers on the roster for the next few days. I would presume part of the reason is because of the Kershaw injury. They want to make sure their bullpen has an extra number of arms available, and also for the fact that Julio Urias is coming back. You can't expect Julio Urias to come back from injury and all of a sudden pitch 8 innings. It's not happening. Dustin May has been on the injured list since May 18th with a forearm strain, but he played catch on Wednesday. You know, catch. Just 2 guys throwing a ball around like we guys are so wont to do. Now, it's still a positive sign, right? He hasn't done that since May, but there's no timetable as to when May will be returning to the mound. It's a baby step. Galaxy defender Martin Caceres underwent successful knee surgery as opposed to undergoing unsuccessful knee surgery. He is expected to miss 3 to 5 months. Look, he's 36 years old. Bank more on the 5 than the 3. And if that's the case, his season is done. Just like Chicharito. LA lost, therefore, 2 starters to knee injuries in a month for the year. That is some tough stuff, guys. That is some tough stuff. The Rams have signed a cornerback, Ahkello Witherspoon. He's played in San Francisco. He's played in Pittsburgh. Don't expect much. To my knowledge, I think he only has 1 career interception. So this is not exactly a steal of Jalen Ramsey proportions. The Rams also ranked CBS also ranked the Rams number 30 in terms of roster building for the year. The writer said that he understood what LA was trying to accomplish in terms of cap space. But he also says that the Rams are not ranked lower because their big 3 is just too good. Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. They're not going to win the Caleb Williams sweepstakes with those 3 players on the roster, he's saying. And honestly, I think he's right. You're reading a lot of different things about what could happen with the Rams this year. When there's that much of a sense of unknown, I doubt they're going to be the worst team. Skeptical about playoff runs. That's just me. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Free agency in the NBA begins at 3 this afternoon. Who do you think the Lakers and Clippers are going after? Tell me about the Kings goalie situation. And if you want to get your hands on a men's extra large LAFC kit or LA kit from the LA Galaxy, subscribe to Faithful Angelenos and tell me which team you want. You have that chance, folks. You have that chance to win. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kia Corte El Queso production. Take care.